Hola, hola, Coca-Cola. I have to admit that I was stunned with the life of this French artist. It's a story about a child prodigy, but also of bullying. It's a story about music, about love. It's a story about a successful career that extends till today. She has an immense talent. The story of Vanessa Paradis.
Il y a là la littérature, le manque de langue, l'inertie, le mouvement. Parfois on regarde les
I could call her Vanessa Paradis, I can call her Vanessa Paradis, but I think I will just call her Vanessa. And listen carefully because she was born in a charming commune in 1972 next to Paris. It was surrounded by abbeys, by a castle, by greenery everywhere. This place is called Saint-Maur-des-Fossés. I mean, with such a name, it's impossible for someone not to get relevant. And not only the setting was dreamlike, but she was surrounded by a rather atypical family. Take, for example, her same father, André Paradis, who was a painter turned entrepreneur who created and sold sets and sculptures. Notably for Disneyland Paris, this was the extent of her father's creativity. Then her mother, Corinne Paradis, who already has a star name. I mean, Corinne Paradis. And let alone Alison Paradis, her younger sister, who would become an actress in the future. Confident that she would have a promising future, her parents signed her up for piano and dance lessons, and she was cast as a model child. However, she was a rather shy little girl who didn't get very good marks at school. And on that sheet of paper, you have to write about what you would like to be when you grow up. She wrote that she wanted to be an actress. And the first opportunity she was offered, it was in 1981 when she appeared in the TV show L'École des Femmes.
Toi, quel âge tu as, Vanessa?
7 ans.
7 ans. Et toi, tu es française?
Oui.
Où est-ce que tu habites?
Villiers-sur-Marne.
The School of the Fans. And she sang with great panache. She sang from a musical by Philippe Chatel.
Tu t'appelles Emilie, Jolie. Tu t'appelles Emilie, Jolie.
Guys, sometimes you need a push. And this push came from her uncle, Didier Pin, who was already a renowned actor in France. And seeing her potential, he made her part of the backing vocals of the singer Franck Langolff. This is the 80s, 1985, and this millionaire uncle that everybody has became her manager. But it took 2 years more, in 87, when her career actually was launched with her first great hit. Do you know which one it is? Exactly, Jolie Taxi. And she was 14 years old, a precocious artist that stayed 11 weeks in the top 1 in France and sold more than 1 million copies. Ala, there you go. You're 14 and you already have your retirement assured. There's also a Spanish version of this song, what? First time I've heard it. And since we're talking about Spain, she released as a second single a song with Spanish vibes. Manolo, Manolete, ¿dónde te metes? I have to admit that all these songs with Spanish vibes that foreigners release make Spanish people laugh a lot. Okay, and it was in 88 when she released her album Emilie. And it was composed by the singer I mentioned before, Langolff, who saw a great talent in her. And 4 singles were taken from this album. One about the romance between Marilyn Monroe and John Kennedy. Marylin et John, Marilyn and John. She also released Coupe and Maxou, with a cat starring in the video. And a very summary track, an ode to nature's greatest predator.
Mosquito.
Bzz, the Mosquito. And this album was released worldwide, but let's say it was very popular in France, with 360,000 copies sold. Then when she was 15, she became pure rebellious. The story of her teenage years. Are you ready? Well, she got a boyfriend who was 11 years older than her, Florent Pagny, who was 26. And it was 88. Imagine the fuss they made in France. And they were together for a few years, until 91, and all the Puritans breathed a sign of relief.
que cette tendresse de merde. Et moi.
And she was still in high school. Not only she appeared in national tabloids, but in her high school, students and teachers picked on her.
And I see your true colors shines through. I see your...
She was bullied to such an extent that her parents in '89 decided just to take her off school. And it was then when she started her life as an actress in the film Noce, Blanche, The White Wedding, in which she played Mathilde, a lost and marginal high school student who experiences a destructive love affair with her philosophy teacher, played by Bruno Crémet. And with no more distractions, they prepared a tailor-made album for her for 1990.
Dis-toi que je t'aime, c'est toujours...
And the same producer and lyricist Franck Langolff was behind this project. And she released 3 singles from his album, Dis-lui, toi, que je t'aime, L'amour en soi, and the most iconic and greatest track from this album that I love. Tandem. This is a hearty. Can you see the hearty? This is a hearty. It's the symbol of my love for this track. And for sure, no matter where you're from, you've seen her surely in commercials. For example, becoming the face of Coco fragrance in 1991. It was then when she broke up with her French boyfriend when she decided to raise the bar. And why waste time with a commoner when Lenny Kravitz shows up at your door? Knock knock. Why not? She met him in 1991 and they became a couple. And they worked together on her 3rd album, completely in English, that she released in 1992. It was released worldwide, but it was highly successful in France. With singles like Be My Baby, which was a smash all over Europe. More hits like Sunday Monday, Just As Long As You Are, and The Natural Tour. And the tumultuous and tortuous affair that she had with Lenny Kravitz ended in 1996. If you can call an affair something that lasts 5 years.
Yo, where are we going?
Later, she kept a low profile in the music world, although I can mention some things. For example, that she released in '94 a live album with a cover of Jacques Dutronc, Les Cactus. That she took part in the opening ceremony in Cannes Film Festival in 1995, for example. In '98, she met Johnny Depp, they fell in love, and they had the first daughter, Lily Rose Melody. And the life of stars. They lived between Los Angeles and the French estate in Plan de la Tour. After an 8-year absence from the music scene, the birth of her daughter, and a long break from films, the singer released Bliss, her 4th album, in October of 2000.
Come on, come on, come on. Commando, come on, come on, come on.
And 3 singles are released: Commando, Que fait la vie, and Pourtant. Commando, Commando.
Tu demandais hier ma vision du bonheur.
And the world went from now on, from this moment on, because they have the 2nd son, which is called Jacques Jean Christopher Troisième, Jean-Jacques Christopher III. I don't know if saying it in French or in English. She releases several films and a super cool album in 2007, which is called Idylle. Personally, I was hooked on this album at the time with songs such as Idylle, L'incendie, Dès que je te vois. I don't know how to say this one. This album was a big hit in France and also in my heart. And then in 2012, Vanessa and Johnny decided to put an end to the marriage, but since then the ex-couple have shown regularly very good understanding. And she has continued to give us very good songs till this day. For example, well, in 2013, she published Love Songs. It was her 6th album and it was very well received by critics and also topped the charts. She was #1 for some time. And she has continued releasing material. For example, the last one that we have from hers is from 2018, Les Sources.
Pour simplement dire ces mots, il faut remettre.
And here ends the fairy tale story of an immensely talented artist. It reminded me of the journey of a character from these Hollywood films, that there is someone who becomes a star. That was her life. So guys, thank you for watching. If you want to continue discovering more stories about our beloved European artists, don't hesitate. Write a comment, like, subscribe, push the bell button, and see you next week. Adios!